Hola, hola amigos y bienvenidos. Espero que todos estén súper bien el día de hoy. All right, so today's lesson, guys, we're going to be dipping back into estar and our subject pronouns as a review from Spanish 1. You should have these notes from last year. That's why I've not given you the guided notes this time around. But on our Google Classroom, you will find our digital interactive notebook. That is intended for you to take any notes that you might need to kind of refresh or jog your memory a bit, okay? We're going to be going through this lesson pretty quickly since it is a review, but that is to say, if you need to stop, pause, or rewind and rewatch something, it's all up to you, okay? So here we go. So first we need to begin with what are our subject pronouns? In English, guys, we know these as I, you, he, she, it, we, they, and my favorite, y'all. Okay, so hopefully we remembered at least some of these in the Spanish form. For I, we see yo. Tú is you. Él is he, ella, she. We use usted, it means you, but in the formal sense. Nosotros, for we. Vosotros, only used in Spain, but it is the equivalent of you all. We have ellos, which is masculine they, ellas, feminine they, and ustedes, or my y'all. All right, so in English and Spanish, we both know that verbs have to be conjugated to match that subject, right? This is why we practiced for so long, underlining that subject before we would conjugate that verb. That way we could see what pattern it is that we need to choose. So we see the example here, I run. I have to change run in the second portion for he or she and conjugate that to be runs. So here we go. Here are our conjugations for estar. We have yo estoy, right? This is my first person, singular. We have tú estás. This would be considered the second person, singular. We have él, ella, y usted está. We remember that these three guys share that conjugation, and this is the third person, singular. All right, then we have nosotros estamos. This would be our first person, not singular, but plural, right? And it's first person because I am included in this. Nosotros is me and my friends. We have vosotros estáis. Remember, we will never get into the practice of this verb, but it is important for us to recognize. And then we see ellos, ellas, y ustedes están. And just like across from it, this is also the third person just within that plural form. All right, now we do remember there are two verbs that mean to be in Spanish. And the first one being estar, we know when to use it based on these four basic times, these four concepts, right? We have location, we have health, changing mood or condition, and then a personal opinion in terms of taste and or appearance, right? The way that I like to remember this is estar, if we remember, is temporary, right? So we know location, that can change in an instant. Our health, yeah, that can change too. Moods, obviously. And then personal opinion, it's not the same for everyone. Okay, so the first one we're gonna delve into, folks, is location. So estar is used to describe where something or someone is physically located. All right, so I see my subject here, yo. My verb has to match that subject pronoun, remember, and it does. It is estoy en la clase, which translates to I am in class. My next one here, my subject again, is nosotros. Who's doing the action? We are. And then the verb that I use has to match it, and it does right here. Estamos en el carro. Our next one, we see el restaurante está en la ciudad. El restaurante is the noun or our subject that's doing the that we're talking about here. And so the verb has to match, right? We see está, and the reason why is things, a singular thing, will also take the third person singular form. So I'll write that down. A singular thing, just like el restaurante, takes the third person singular conjugation. Okay? That is to say that a plural thing then will take the third person plural conjugation. All right. So when we're talking location, the one that seems to be the trickiest is within these buildings. But if we remember, buildings can burn down. Somebody can move their business. You can move to a new house. Really, anything can happen to these buildings, right? So location is not temporary, regardless if it's a building or a person's physical position. Okay, the next one we see is health. So estar is used to express your well-being. We all know that we go in and out of being healthy and sick, and that just changes, right? So my subject here is ella. My estar has to match, and it does. I have está, and then I see enferma. She is sick. My next one, los doctores están enfermos. I'm talking about my doctors here. They're the ones who are sick. And my verb estar has to be conjugated to match them. So we see están enfermos. The doctors are sick. Down below I have a question. I see, ¿Cómo están ustedes? Or how are you all? In this sense, I'm asking about you all, right? So my subject here, ustedes. And then my verb has to match it, and that is están. Also, important to note that remember, when asking questions, so for questions, verb comes before the subject, right? We invert that. Our next one, we have changing mood or condition. None of us are strangers to this fact. The first one says, la muchacha está contenta. My subject, who am I talking about? La muchacha, right? The girl. And she is, or está, contenta, content. My next one is estamos felices. Now, I don't see a subject pronoun, but what I do see is a conjugation of estar that is unique, meaning nobody else shares this conjugation. It's only fitting for nosotros. So within that, I also see my subject, nosotros. We are happy. My next one, I'm running into the same thing. I don't see a subject pronoun, but I do see the conjugation of estás, which is also unique and only fits tú. So my subject here is tú. Estás enojado. Are you angry? My next one, las chicas están cansadas. I'm talking about las chicas here. And there's my verb that matches them perfectly. The girls are tired. All right, and our last one that we're going to look at here is the personal opinion. Now, when estar is used with food, the English equivalent is like tastes or taste. But when estar is used with appearance, the English equivalent is like look or looks. So if I were to say, la comida está buena, what's my opinion, right? I'm saying the food is good, tastes good, is good, however you want to look at it. Regardless, my subject here is la comida, it's that singular thing, and so my verb está matches it. My next one, el pescado está delicioso, or the fish is delicious. My next one is ella está hermosa hoy. I made the joke before, it's the same thing, right? You might think that she is beautiful today when somebody else can just be like, I don't think so. Kind of rude, but again, personal opinion, right? So my subject in this sense, tenemos ella, and then that verb to match, of course, is está. Same thing for he is handsome or good looking. Él está guapo. Él is my subject here, y that está matches. I talked earlier just a little bit about leaving off the subject pronoun for a few of our subject pronouns, right? A few of our subjects. And just a reminder, you do not need to explicitly state the subject pronoun if talking about yo, tú, or nosotros, right? And this is because yo, tú, and nosotros have unique conjugations, right? They don't share them with anybody at all. However, our third person subject pronouns, right? So either the singular or the plural, you have to include them because they share a conjugation with each other. Must be included because they share a conjugation with each other. All right, guys, and that is that. I hope you guys were able to follow along with this lesson, and hopefully it jogged a few of those memories and we're ready to get back to work. So if you have any questions, as always, let me know. And apart from that, espero que tengan un maravilloso día, amigos. Adiós.